A cavern, in the middle, a boiling cauldron. Thunder. Enter the three witches. Thrice the blinded cat hath mewed. Thrice and once the hedge pig whined. Harper cries, "It's time, it's time." Round about the cauldron go, in its poisoned entrails throw. Todd under cold stone, days and nights as 31. Sweltered venom sleeping got, boil thou first in the charmed pot. Double, double, toil and trouble, where burn and cauldron bubble. Fillet of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder, fork and blind-worm's sting, lizard's leg and hornet's wing. For a charm and powerful trouble, let a hell broth boil and bubble. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, moor and gulf. Of the raven's salt sea shark, roots of hemlock digged in dark. Liver of blaspheming Jew, gall of goat and sips of yew. Slivered in the moon's eclipse, nose of Turk and target's lips. Finger of a bird-strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab. Make the gruel thick in slab, and there to our tiger's cauldron. For the ingredients of our cauldron, double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good. Enter Hecate. Oh, well done. I commend your pains, and every one shall share I the gains. And now about the cauldron sing, let elves and fairies in a ring, enchanting all that you put in. Music and a song, black spirits. Hecate retires. By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks. Enter Macbeth. How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is it you do? A deed without a name. I conjure you by that which you profess. How are you come to know it? Answer me. Through you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches through the yesty waves, confronted and swallow the navigations up. Though bladed corn be lodged and trees blown down, though castles topple their warders' heads, though palaces and pyramids do slope their heads to their fortunes, through the treasure of nature givens tumble altogether, even till destruction-stricken answer me to what I ask you. Speak, demand, we'll answer. Say, if you'd rather hear it from our mouths, or from our masters. Call 'em, let me see 'em. Pour in sow's blood, that had eaten her 9 furrow. Grease that sweeten from the murderer's gibbet throw into the flame. Come high or low, thyself an office deftly show. Thunder, first apparition, an armed head. Tell me their unknown power. He knows thy thought, hear his speech, but say thou not. Macbeth, 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 beware Macduff, beware the Thane of Fife, dismiss me, enough. Descends. What other art, for thou good caution thanks, thou art helped, my fear right, but one word more. He would not be commanded, here's another, more potent than the first. Thunder, second apparition, a bloody child. Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Had I 3 ears, I heard thee. Be bloody, bold and resolute, laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth. Descends. Then live, Macduff, what need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make entrance doubly sure, and take her bound of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear in it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. Thunder, third apparition, a child crowned with a tree in his hand. What is this, that rides like a issue of a king, and wears upon its baby brow the round and top of sovereignty? Listen, but speak not to it. Be lion melted, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or what compares they are. Macbeth shall never vanquished, but until great Bermid wood, the high Damsel hill, shall come against him. That will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the trees unfix his earth-bound root? Sweet bottoms good, rebellion's head rise never till the wood of Birm's rise, and high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign his kingdom? Seek to know more. I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. What, boys? Why sinks the cauldron, and what noise is this? Show! 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 Show his eyes and grieve his heart, come like shadows so depart. A show of 8 kings, the last with a glass in his hand, ghost of Banquo following. How art, too, like a spirit of Banquo, down, the crown to sneer, mine eyeballs, and thy hair. Thou other gold-born brow is like the first, a third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? A fourth, sad eyes, watch will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet, a seventh, I'll see no more. And yet the 8th appears, who bears a glass, which shows me many more. And come I see the twofold balls and striply steers a carry. Horrible sight now, I see it's true, for the blood-broidered Banquo smiles upon me, and points at all of them for his. Apparitions vanish. What is this so? Aye, sir, all this is so, but why stands Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, cheer we up his sprites, and show the best of our delights. I'll charm the air to give a sound, while you form your antic round, that this greatly king may kindly say, our duties did welcome pay. Music. The witches dance, and then vanish. Where are they? Gone? At this precious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in without there. Enter Lennox. What's your grace as well? Saw you the weird sisters? No, my lord. Came they not by you? No, indeed, my lord. Infected by the air whom they ride, and damned all those trust them. I did hear the galloping of a horse. Who was it came by? It's 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you the word Macduff is fled to England. Fled to England? Ay, my lord. Aside. Time thou absent my dread exploits. The flighty purpose never overtook, unless the deed go with it. From the moment, the first things of my heart shall be the first things of my hand. And even now, to crown my thoughts and acts, be it thought and done, the castle of Macduff I will surprise. Seize upon Fife, give to the edger with the sword, his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool, this deed I'll do before the purpose cruel. But no more sights. Aloud, where are these gentlemen? Come, bring them where they are. Fife. Macduff's castle. Enter Lady Macduff, her son, and Ross. What has he done to make him fly the land? You must have patience, madam. He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors. You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear. Wisdom, to leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion and his titles in a place from whence he does fly. He loves us not. He wants the natural touch. For the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will flight her young ones in her nest against the owl. All is fear, and nothing is love. As little is the wisdom where the fight so runs against all reasons. My dearest coz, I pray you, skill yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best known. The fits, the season, I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times where we are traitors, and do not know ourselves when we hold rumour. From what we fear, yet known not what we fear, but float upon our wind and violent sea, each way and move. I take my leave of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease, or else climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessings upon you. Fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless. I am so much a fool. Should I stay longer, it will be a disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once. Exit. Sirrah, your father's dead, and what will you do now? How will you live? As birds do, mother. What, with worms and flies? With what I get, I mean, and so do they. Poor bird, thou must never fear the net nor line, the pitiful nor the gin. Why should I, mother? Poor birds, they are not set for. My father is not dead, for all your saying. Yes, he is dead. How would thou do for a father? Nay, how will you do for a husband? Why? I can buy 20 at any market. Then you'll buy 'em to sell 'em again. Thou speak with all thy wit, and yet I faith with wit enough for thee. Why was my father a traitor, mother? Ay, that he was. What is a traitor? One that swears and lies. And be all traitors that do so. Every one that does so is a traitor, and must be hanged. And must they all be hanged that swear and lie? Every one. Who must hang them? Why, the honest men. And the liars and swearers are fools, for there are liars and swearers enow to beat the honest men and hang up them. Now God help thee, poor monkey, but how would thou do for a father? If he were dead, would thou weep for him? If would thou not, it were a good sign that I should quickly have a new father. Poor prattler, how does thou talk? Enter a messenger.
Bless you, fair dame, I'm not too known. Though it is your safe honour, I'm perfect. Doubt some daggers does approach you nearly. If you will take a homely man's advice, be not found here hence, with your little ones. To fright you thus, methinks I am too savage. To do worse to you were felt cruelty, which is too nigh your person. Heaven preserve you, dare abide no longer.
Exit. Whether I should fly? I have done no harm, but I remember now I am in this earthly world, where to do harm is often laudable. To do good sometime accountable dangerous folly. Why then, alas, do I put up that womanly defence to say I have done no harm? Enter murderers. What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mightst find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shank-haired villain.
What, you egg?
Stabbing him.
Young foy of treachery.
He has killed me, mother. Ran away, I pray you.
Dies.
Exit Lady Macbeth, crying, Murder! Murder! Exit murderers, following her. England. Before King Edward's palace, enter Malcolm and Macduff. Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty. Let us rather hold fast on the mortal sword, and like good men bestride our downfallen birthroom. Each new morn, new widow's howl, new orphan's cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face. That it resounds as if it felt with Scotland and yelled out like a symbol of dolour. What I believe I'll wail, what no, believe in what I can redress, as I shall find the time to friend. I will what you have spoke. It may be so perchance this tyrant whose sole name blisters our tongues was once thought honest. You've loved him well. Hath he not touched you yet? I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me. and wisdom to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry God. I am not treacherous, but Macbeth is a good and virtuous nature may recall, an impregnable charge, that I shall crave your pardon, that which you are my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, through the brightest fell. Through all things foul would wear the brows of grace, yet grace must still look so. I have lost my hopes, perchance even where then I did find my doubts. Why in the rawness left you wife and child, those precious motives, those strong knots of love, without leave taking? I pray you, let not my jealousies be your dishonours, but mine own safeties. You may be right just, whatever I shall think. Bleed, bleed, poor country, great tyranny, lay down thy bias true. For goodness dare not cheek thy, wear thou thy wrongs. The title is afeard. Fare thee well, Lord. I would not be the villain that does think for the whole space that's in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich east to boot. Be not offended. I speak as an absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right, and here from gracious England have I offer a goodly thousands. But for all this, when I shall tread upon a tyrant's head, or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, more suffer, more sundry ways than ever, by him that shall succeed. What should he be? It is myself, I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice so grafted, that when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb, being compared with my conficious harms. Not in the legions or hard hell can come a devil more damned in evil so top Macbeth. I grant him bloody, luxurious, avarice, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name, but there is no bottom, none, in my voluptuousness. Your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my lust, and my desire, all content in parentages, would overbear that did oppose my will. Better Macbeth than such at one to reign. Boundless and permanence is nature as a tyranny. It hath been the unnamely emptying of the happy throne, and fall of many kings. But fear not yet to take upon you what is yours. You may convey your pleasures in spacious plenty, and yet seem cold the time you may so hoodwink. We have willing dames enough. There cannot be that vulture in you to devour so many as will to gracious dictate themselves, finding it so inclined. With this there grows in my most ill-composed affection such a sacrilegious avarice, that were I king I should cut off the nobles of their lands, desire his jewels in the other's house, and my more having would be a source to make me hunger more, that I should forge quarrels unjust against the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth. This avarice sticks deeper, grows with much perilous root, than summer seeming lust, and it hath been the sword of our slain kings. Yet do not fear. Scotland hath for instance to fill up your will. Of your mere own, all these are portable. With others, grace is weighed. but I have none. The king becomes graces, as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, providence, mercy, lowliness, devotion, patience, courage, fortitude. I have no relish for them, but abound in the division of each several crime, acting in many ways. Nay, had I the power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth. Oh, Scotland, Scotland! If such a one be fit to govern, speak, I am as I have spoken. Fit to govern? No, not to live. A nation miserable, with an ignorant tyrant, bloody sceptred. When shall thou see thy wholesome days again, since the truest issue of thy throne by his own indication stands accused, and does blasphemy his breed? Thy royal father was a most sated king, and the queen that bore thee, oftener upon her knees than on her feet, died every day she lived. Fare thee well. These evils do repeat upon thyself, have banished me from Scotland. Oh, my breast, thy hope ends here. Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the back scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good behaviour and honour. Devilish Macbeth, by many of these trains, hath sought to win me into his power. The modest wisdom plucks me from over creditor's haste, but God above deals between thee and me. From even now I put myself in thy direction. Unspeaked mine own destruction, here abjure the taints and the blames I laid upon myself. For strangers to my nature, I am yet unknown to woman. Never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted. What was mine own, at no time broke my faith. Worth not betray the devil to his fellow and delight, no less in truth than life. My first false speaking was this upon myself. What I am truly is thine, and my poor country's into command. Whether indeed before they here approach, all swindered with 10,000 warlike men, already at point, was setting forth. Now we'll go together, at the chance of goodness. Be like our wanderer's quarrel. Why are you silent? Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. It was hard to reconcile. Enter a doctor. Well, more anon. Come the king forth, I pray you.
Aye, sir, there are a crew of wretched souls that stay his cure. The manly convinced is the great essay of art, but at his touch, such scrutiny hath heaven given his hand, they presently amended.
I thank you, doctor. Exit, doctor. What's that disease he means? It's called the Able, a most miraculous work in this good thing, which often since my here remaining in England I have seen him do. How he salutes heaven, he himself best knows, but strangely visits its people, all swollen and ulcerous, pitiful to the eye, and mere despair of surgery he cures, hanging a gold stamp around their necks, put on with holy prayers and it spoken. To their succeeding royalty he leaves the healing benediction. With this strange virtue he hath heavenly gift of prophecy, and sundry beings hang about his throne. They speak him full of grace. Enter Ross. Who comes to see me here? My countryman, but yet I know him not. O my ever gentle cousin, welcome hither. I know him now. Good God, the times remove thy means that makes us strangers. Sir, amen. Stands Scotland where it did? Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave. where nothing but who knows nothing is once seen to smile, where sights and groans and shrieks that rend the air are made, not marked, where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy. The dead man kneel. Is there scarce asked for who? And good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps. Dying, oh ere they sicken. No relation, too nice and yet too true. What is this newest grief? That of an hour's age, don't speak the speaker. Each minute tastes a new one. How does my wife? Why, well. And my children? Well, too. The tyrant has not battered at their peace. No, they were all at peace when I did leave them. Be not a niggard of your speech. How goes it? When I came hither to transport the tidings which I have barely borne, there ran a rumour of many weather fellows that were out, which was to my belief witnessed the rather, for that I did see a tyrant's paw afoot. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight, to doff their dire distresses. Be their comfort, we are coming hither. Gracious England hath left us good, sword and 10,000 men, and older and a better soldier none, that Christendom gives out. Well, I could answer this comfort with the like, but I have words that would be howled out in the desert air, were hearing them to latch them. What concern they? The general cause? Or is it a fee of grief due to some single breast? No mind, it's honest, but it shares some woe to the main part, for it's to you alone. If it be mine, keep it not from me, quickly let me have it. Let your ears, despite my tongue forever, which shall process them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard. I guessed it. Your castle is surprised. Your wife and babes savagely slaughtered, to relate the manner where on the quarry of these murdered deer, to add the death of you. Merciful heaven! What, ma'am, no air your hat upon your brows? Give sorrow words, the grief that does not speak. Whispers, O earth-fraught heart, and bids it break. My children too. Wife, children, servants, all that could be found. And I must be from thence, my wife killed too. I have said, be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief. He has no children, all my pretty ones. Did you say all? Oh, Hellkite, all. What, all my pretty chickens and their dam. At one fell swoop. Dispute it like a man. I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. I could not but remember such things were, that were the most precious to me. Did heaven look on, and would not take their part, sinful Macbeth? They were all struck for thee. Not that I am, not for their own damages, but for mine. Fell slaughter on their souls, heaven rest them now. Be this the wholesome of your sword, let grief convert to anger. Blunt not the heart, enrage it. Oh, I could play the woman with mine eyes, and the bark with my tongue, but gentle heavens, cut short all intermission. Front to front, bring thou this friend of Scotland and myself. Within my sword's length set him. If he escaped, heaven forgive him too. This tune was manly. Come go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking. And the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. This night is long that never finds the day.